Okay, good morning and namaste. So let's start with our prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhubhuva Swaha, Tatsavitravare Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto Ma Satgamya तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गम्य मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गम्य ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्वी नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि ओम शांति शांति शांति. So Thursdays we study Avadhuta Gita by Dattatreya ji. And we all know that he's talking from that level of consciousness. Once you experience it, it's hard to even describe. Unless a person has already experienced it too. So it's almost like if somebody has gone to the beach and the other person has also gone to the beach, they can talk, they can relate. What are they talking about? How big the ocean is, how vast the ocean is, what's the color of the water, how the waves are. The same way over here. So what he is talking about, if we have experienced it, then we can relate to it. But otherwise, the questions like this come to our mind. If you're already Brahma, because that's what he's telling us, if you're already Brahma, that means we are absolute. What is the purpose of appearing as a sentient being and going through the struggles and suffering of life? And then gradual awakening, following the path of spirituality, coming to enlightenment, and realizing you are Brahma, which you already were. In other words, what is the purpose of life if I am that? So, what is the purpose of whole thing? We got to think about it. What is the purpose? The answer is contained in the question itself. What is the purpose? There is a mention of causality there. Causality. What is the cause? And that's why some Swamis, they say this question itself is wrong. And why is this question wrong? Because this question takes you deeper into the questioning itself. And what is the question? And what are we asking here? We are asking for explanation. And what is the explanation? Explanation is asking for a cause. We see the effect, this manifested world, and we are asking for the cause. It's almost like if I see a grass wet outside and I want to know why. What will really satisfy me? If somebody tells me that it rained last night, or if the sprinklers were on, that's why grass in the lawn is wet. The cause and the effect. So about this truth, I am that, which answer can satisfy us? Is there a cause? If there's a cause, then we can say that I got it. So why the Swami say that this is not a question, not a valid question? This entire game of life is because of Maya. Maya. And how does that help us? What is Maya? One way to understand Maya is that space, time, and causation. This is the stage which is provided by Maya. Space, time, and causation. When the causation is a part of the stage, you cannot ask for the cause. It is like asking for the cause of the causation. To make it more clear, it is something if you ask, what is outside of space? Or what is before time? So without assuming causality, you cannot ask for the cause. So within Maya, one can ask the cause. See that example of the grass wet? Within the Maya, you can ask for the cause. But for Maya, you cannot ask for cause. Just like it is meaningless to ask what is outside of space. One cannot meaningfully answer this question because there is no answer until one gets enlightened. Okay, so in other words, you got to experience it. On our side, there are only questions and no answers for something like this. But when we are on the side of the enlightened, then there are no questions. Questions get answered. They have the answers. That's why the saintly people, the monks, there is a popular saying, Maya ko pratisthit mat kijiye. Maya ko kaatiye. That means do not establish Maya. When you ask question like this, you are establishing Maya. Try to go beyond Maya. Negate Maya. That's how these yogis talk. Because there's no reasonable, no logical answer. Because Maya itself, that word means which is not. Ma-ya. That is not. That Sanskrit word, ma-ya, which is not. So it doesn't even exist. And we are asking about it. So that's why I said there's no reasonable, there's no logical answer. Because Maya is not, it never was, it is only appearance. That's why another translation of this word Maya is it's an illusion. It's an illusion. There's no reasonable, logical answer within it. For example, if you are dreaming at night and you get chased by a lion, where did the lion come from? You get very afraid. Somebody will say, wake up, there's no lion. Just a dream. Otherwise, you say, where did it come from? Somebody will say, yeah, there's a mama lion and a daddy lion, and the lion, baby lion came. But where did they come from? It's all part of your dream. So that's why this spirituality is a path. We need to walk upon it, then experience that you are Brahma. So that's why the answer to that first question is I do not know yet because I have not experienced it. We need to realize it. We have to overcome it. We have to wake up. Wake up from this bigger dream, this collective dream. That's why the realized people, they are called awakened also. They have woken up from this group sleep. Okay, so that's why when we study something like this, whether it was the Ashtavakra Gita, but now Avadhuta Gita, sometimes these verses we cannot relate to these because we have not experienced it. So on one hand we study, on the other hand we do the practice. We try to walk on this path. More we walk on the path, more disciplined we are, more we are aware about the goal, then we'll experience. This experience is not only for a few people. This experience is for all of us. But we have to do the walking. So let's go back to our studies. Verse number 10. And I think this is a chapter number 4. Na grahakah grahyakam ev kinchit na karnam vamam na ev karyam achintaya cha katham vadami savrupam nirvanam anamya aham. Na means not grahaka, one who understands. That means the perceiver. Grahyakam, understood, the object of perception. Ev means really, kinchit, something. Na means not, karanam, cause. Va means or, mam means mine. Na means not, ev only, karyam, effect. Achintaye, beyond thought. Again, cha means and, katham, how, vadami, say, savroop, true nature, nirvanam, free, freedom, liberation, anamya, free from disease. Aham means I am. Myself, that means the Atma, the real self. Myself is not the perceiver, nor the object of perception. It has no cause or effect. What I was telling you earlier, that causation does not apply to this. Causation applies to only the Maya. This is not Maya. This is who I am. Body is the Maya. Mind is the Maya. What I have done, what I have acquired, that's all Maya. I am not Maya. It has no cause or effect. How can I say that it is conceivable or inconceivable? Achinte. I am by nature blissful. This anamya means blissful. Also, no disease. Literal meaning is no disease. Diseases can happen only to the manifested world. Body can be diseased, mind can be diseased, and intellect can be diseased. Atma cannot be. So that's why he says, I am by nature blissful and free. That's why the yogis, all these practices, they gave us so that our body stays disease free. Our mind stays disease free. So that there's no hurdle on this path. Because whenever there's a disease, our attention goes towards that. If my tooth is aching, attention is always towards that. In one line, if somebody asks you, can you tell me the fundamental of yoga? Fundamental of yoga is really the stillness and the calmness of the body and the mind. All the asanas we do, all the cleansings we do, all the seva we do, so that we can have a stillness in our body and the mind, so that I get to see who I am. That is the fundamental of yoga. Because when the mind is free of diseases, the body is free of the diseases, then the clarity is achieved within. With the help of that clarity, we can see, we can really understand also, and at the same time, we can experience it. So myself is not the perceiver, nor the object of perception. It has no cause or effect. How can I say that it is conceivable or even inconceivable? I am by nature blissful and free. Next one. Na bhedakam va api na chah ev bhedyam na vedkam va mamnah ev vedyam gat agatam tat katham vadami Savrup nirvanam anamya aham. Na means not, bhed kam, difference. Va means or, api means also. Na means not, cha is and, ev really, bhedyam, to be divided. So you can divide something if there's a difference. If it's the same, you cannot divide. Na vedkam, not knower. Vedkam means knower. Va means or, mam means my, na means not, ev really, vedyam, to be known. Vedyam. Gat, coming. Agatam, going. Very simple Sanskrit. Very simple. Tat. Tat means son also. Tat means dear. Because this guru is teaching. And this kind of affection and love towards the students. Tat. Katham, how? Lord Krishna also used this tat word for Arjun a few times. Katham, how? Vadame, say or describe. Again, the last line, repetition. Savrup, true nature, nirvanam, freedom, liberation, anamya, free from disease, aham, I am. Myself neither destroys anything, nor is it destroyed by anything. You remember Lord Krishna said exactly the same words in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Neither is it a knower, nor is it knowable. Oh dear one, how can I describe it as a coming or going? I am by nature blissful and free. Sometimes we get confused. Coming and going. We thought that the soul came into our home, into the womb of the mother. And when a person dies, we say left. So over here, this Rishi, this great Rishi, Dattatreya is telling us it is doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't come. How can I describe its coming or going? It doesn't. If we have a balloon, air in the balloon seems like it's going. If we pop the balloon, because it's only the casing which is holding it, pop it, where does it go? Everywhere. There's no coming and going. Coming and going is only with the casing. In the same way, our mind is the one, or the suksham body. or the causal body, Karan Sharir, that goes. Okay? Jeev Atma can go, but Atma itself does not. So myself neither destroys anything nor is it destroyed by anything. How do we destroy? Or how do we feel that we have been destroyed? Our ego does. They destroyed me. Or I'm going to destroy them. That's the ego. Atma does not. Neither is it a knower nor is it a knowable. Oh dear one, how can I describe it? न च अस्ति हि देह न च मे विदेह बुद्धि मना में न हि च इंद्रियाणि रागः विरागः च कथम वदामि स्वरूप निर्वाणम अनाम्या अहम. न means not, ch means and, asti existent, deh body, again na not, ch means and, me means our, videha bodiless, buddhi intellect, manaha mind, me our, na means not, he means therefore, ch means and, indriyani senses, ragaha attachment, viragaha detachment, na means, cha means and, katham how, vadami say, savarupaha true nature. See, if you break it down, sva means own, roop means form, your own form, swarupa, so true nature. Nirvanam liberation, anamya free from diseases, aham I am. I have no body. See, I'm not the body, but over here he says I have no body, nor am I bodiless. I have no senses, mind, or intellect. How can I say that I have attachment or detachment? I am by nature blissful and free. See, that's why understanding of this body, even the Sathul Sharir, is very important to really have a grasp of these verses. Senses, the mind, the intellect, the ego. What is it? Detachment, attachment. These words are simple, but that's where the whole philosophy is hidden. So sure, we live in this body right now. It's not ours. We are just temporarily keeping it. We are living in it. It's not ours. Because if it was ours, we should be able to take it with us. We don't own it. We got to use it, learn how to use it, take care of it. Just like if we go to a hotel, you don't abuse, you don't break anything, you don't bring it home. You just use it for a short period of time. This is what it is. It's like a hotel room. Don't get attached to it. If you're not attached, then there's no question of detachment. So in that sense, he says, how can I say that I have attachment or detachment? Because if you are attached, only then there's a question of detachment. It's not mine. How can I get attached to it? So from that kind of a understanding, Dattatreya is telling us, sure, we are attached to it. That's why we need to detach from it, do the practices. But he says, I'm not attached or detached. It's not a question. I don't have it. Okay. Ulekh matram hi bhinnam uchai. उल्लेख मात्रम न तिरोहितम वै सम असमम मित्र कथम वदामि स्वरूप निर्वाणम अनाम्या अहम. Ullekh. Ullekh means description. Very common Hindi word actually, ullekh. Description. Matram, merely. Na means not. He means this. Bhinnam, difference. Uchai. Uchai means loud or high. Or it also means clear. Uchai. Ullekh, description. Matram, merely. Na means not. Tirohitam. Tirohitam means hidden or disappeared. Okay, Tirohitam. Ve means this is like whenever you want to emphasize something, that's a ve, like a verily. So it's a particle of emphasis, they say. Some means same, or samam, different. Mitra, oh friend. Katham, how, vadami, say. Swaroop, true nature. Nirvanam, freedom, liberation. Ananya, free from disease. Aham, I am. So, forceful, see, like a uchai, loudly or forcefully, assertions cannot change Brahm. Nor does denial of Brahm make it disappear. How can I say, oh friend, whether Brahm is always the same or not? I am by nature blissful and free. Okay, so if somebody says, I'm going to argue against it or for it, it doesn't matter. Brahm is, because that is the reality, that is the existence, that is the only thing which is Brahm. So if somebody says, I don't believe in it, that doesn't mean it goes away. If somebody says, I don't believe in gravity, that doesn't mean gravity is going to go away. So in that sense, he says, loudly, if you describe it, forcefully describe it, it cannot be changed. Nor does denial of Brahm make it disappear. Truth is truth. Absolute is absolute. That's why it's called absolute. There's no question about it. It's not a relative truth. It's absolute. How can I say? Okay. So I am by nature that. That is my Swaroop. No disease in it. There can never be any disease. And it's always free. It's not that we have to attain freedom. It is always free. We have just forgotten that what our nature is. We have fooled ourselves that we are the body. We have fooled ourselves that I am the small self. Even when I'm fooled, I still am this. All we have to do is just turn around and realize this is what I am. Jitendriya aham tu ajitendriya va na sanyamne niyamaha na jataha jaya ajaya mitra katham vadami Swaroop nirvanam anamya aham. Jitendriya, one who has conquered the senses. Jit indriya, indriyon ko jeet lena, conquered the senses. Aham I am, tu means thus. Ajitendriya, who has not conquered the senses. Va means or, na means not. Sanyam, self-restrained. Me, to me, niyamaha, discipline. Na means not, jataha, have arisen. Jai, victory, a jai, defeat. Mitra, O friend, Katham, how, Vadami, say, Svrupa, true nature, Nirvanam, free, liberation, Anamya, free from disease, Aham, I am. Dattatreya is saying, I have conquered the senses. And again, I have not conquered them. I have never cultivated self restraint or austerities. Oh, friend, how can I speak of success or defeat, victory or defeat? I am by nature blissful and free. Okay? When the attention is always towards the reality, then everything else doesn't even matter. Sure, we cannot say that we're going to live like this. We don't identify ourselves. We don't have the experience of the Atma. We need to walk on this path to reach there, and then we can feel it. Okay? अमूर्त मूर्तिम न मे न कदाचित आद्य अंत मध्यम च मे कदाचित बल अबलम मित्र कथम वदामि स्वरूप निर्वाणम अनाम्या अहम अमूर्त absence of form. Murt means a form. Murti, form. Cha means and, me means mine. Kadachit, never. Adya, beginning. Ant, end. Madhyam, middle. Cha means and, me means mine. Na kadachit, never. Bal, power, strength. Balam, weakness. Mitra, friend. Katham, how. Vadami, say. Svarup, true nature. Nirvanam, liberation. Anamya, free from disease. Aham, I am. I do not have a form, nor am I formless. I have no beginning, middle, or end. Friend, how can I say that I am strong or weak? See, these are all the dualities. Atma, Brahma is beyond these dualities. I say, how can I say I am strong or weak? I am by nature blissful and free. मृत अमृतम व अपि विष विषम च संजायते तात में न कदाचित अशुद्ध शुद्धम च कथम वदामि स्वरूप निर्वाणम अनाम्या अहम मृत मृत मीन्स डेथ अमृतम deathlessness अमृत va means or api means also vish poison avisham nectar. You all know when you put a in front of a word, it is opposite of it. So vish is poison, avisham nectar. Cha means and, sanjayate appears or happens. Tat, oh dear one, may of me, na kadachit, never. Ashuddh, impure, shuddham, pure. Cha means and, katham how, vadami say, Svarup, own nature, the true nature. Nirvanam, liberation. Anamya, free from disease. Aham, I am. Oh, my dear, death and immortality, poison and nectar have never emanated from me, or they never appeared from me. not from the Atma. How can I say that I am pure or impure? I am by nature blissful and free. Because if we say that it's pure, then impurity comes also. The duality. It's a non-dual. Swapnaha prabodha na cha yog mudraha naktam diva va api ne kadachit aturye turyam katham vadami Swarup nirvanam anamya aham. Swapan, sleep. Prabodha, waking state. Prabodh. Na means not, cha means and. Yoga. Yoga means oneness, unity. Mudra, postures. Naktam, night. Diva, day. Va means or, api means also. Me means me. Na kadachit, never. Aturye, beyond Turiya. You remember? The fourth stage of consciousness is called Turiya. What is the first one? Jagrat, okay, which he called it a prabodh over here. Then comes the Nidra, the sleep. Then Sushupti, the deep sleep. Then comes the Turiya. But he says, Turiyam, beyond Turiya. And Turiyam, the Turiya state. Katham, how? Vadami, say or describe. Swarup, true nature. Nirvanam, liberation, freedom. Anamya, free from disease. Aham, I am. For me, there is no waking or dreaming, nor any posture of yoga, because all this is for whom? They are for the body and the mind. I am not that. So for me, there's no waking or dreaming, nor any posture of yoga, nor is there any day or night. How can I say that I am in the third stage or even in the fourth stage? Okay. I am by nature blissful and free. See, all of those stages, the levels of consciousness, that's a path we are walking on. They help us to recognize who we are. But once we are there, then we say, all of this is almost like if you are walking on the ladder, gradually you are going up and up and up and up. Once you are up on the roof, there's no need for the ladder. You recognize who you are. So this is what Dattatreya is telling us. Let's look at one more and then we'll stop today. Samvidhi sarv vi sarv muktam maya vi maya cha men kadachit sandhya adikam karam katham vadami swarup nirvanam anamya aham. Samvidhi means to know. Ma means me. Sarv means all. We serve, not all. Opposite of sarv, we serve. Muktam, free from. Maya, illusion. We talked about Maya in the beginning. Illusion. We Maya, freedom from illusion. Cha means and, me means me, na kadachit, never. Sandhya adikam. Adikam means etc. Sandhya means the worship which we do. There are two sandhyas, morning and evening. Sandhya, sandhi time. Okay, when the day ends and the morning comes, and the night ends and the morning comes. It's two sandhyas. So those are the times to worship according to the tradition which we follow. Sandhya Adikam. Karam, action, Katham, how, Vadami, say, Savroop, true nature, Nirvanam, liberation, Anamya, free from disease, Aham, I am. Know that I am free from everything. And again, not free from anything. I have no Maya, nor its multiple forms. How can I say that I shall have to practice daily obligatory religious disciplines? I am by nature blissful and free. So free from everything, anything. When a practitioner, aspirant, is united with Nirgun Brahma, this is what Dattatreya is. He is there. Nirgun Brahma. Only then he is free from everything. And again, when he is identified with the Sagun Brahma, he is one with everything. So whether he is in the manifested form or let go of the manifested form, he is one with the Brahma. This is what his state is. And the Sandhya Adikam, those are again the means, not the goal. We do the jap, we do the prayers, we do the meditation, we do the dan, the charity. We study the scriptures. We do say various kinds of yajnas. All of those are the means to understand that Savrup Nirvanam Anamya Aham. That means that after doing all this, there should be a stillness, there should be a calmness, there should be a feeling of that I am one with everybody. We are all one. The feeling of union, feeling of peacefulness by going through the names. But he says, I am. Yes, I am the Atma. That is it. So he is describing with all these verses the experience of the goal. Okay? That's why again and again he says, Swaroop Nirvanam Anamya Aham. That's what I am. Okay? So we'll stop it here. Let me do the closing mantra also. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much. Before